Hello, good morning, and Happy New Year again. Today is the 5th of January, and I hope our day is going good so far. So, yeah, this is the new year, and there's so much euphorias and decisions and plans made in the new year. It's just as though there's always this rush, I don't know what to call it, that happens in New Year. So, I just really want to share with you some specific things. And let's just start with uh, growth. Yeah, growth. You know, so many a times we all believe that growth is when something is ascending. Like we believe that a tree is growing or something, a seed is growing when it begins to bring out its shoots and all of that. Then we start seeing what we have planted has started growing. But let's look truly deeply what growth means. Like Holy Spirit, you are the best. I love you. Thank you so much. Because literally, I was asking him to tell me what to say, and it just came right on time, exactly when I needed it. You know, people think, yeah, growth is when you plant a seed and it starts bringing out its shoot and everything. No. Growth truly, most of the time, starts with descent before ascent. Like it starts with descending before it begins to ascend. For the victory of man to be ascertained, Christ had to die. In fact, for the salvation of man to start, for the glory of man to be restored, God had to descend from heaven, descend from his throne, and came down to earth. And that is when the journey, the process, the growth for human salvation began. When he left earth, when he left heaven, when he left his throne and came down, he brought himself down to the level of humanity to be in the womb of a woman and be birthed and all of this. That is when the journey for salvation began. And that is when you say here, the Bible said, from the time of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffered violence. Because that was when the process for the salvation of man began. It began. It began. The devil started fighting from that period. When the birth of Christ, you remember what happened? Herod tried to kill Jesus. It began. At that point in time, you're not seeing anything. Nothing is happening, but actually something is happening. The roots were growing. Growth was already taking place. Process was already taking place. It's just that at this point in time, we cannot see it with our eyes, and then we think that we are not making progress, that we are not growing, because probably we are at our descending phase of growth. Our descending phase of growth. And you know that for an Iroko tree to attain the height it attains, it has to go deep. For a house, for you to build a skyscraper, the foundation grows deeper. Like for you to build a skyscraper, you have to first build a deep foundation. I mean, growth starts from within, descending, descent. And then the journey for Christ to be adjourned as a name above every other name, he first had to die. He first had to be buried. He first had to go to hell. You know what I mean? So he said into hell the third day he rose again from the dead and he ascended into heaven. So he died. He went to Hades. He won the victory, took the keys of death from the enemy, and he ascended into heaven and seated at the right hand of the Father. And at the mention of his name, every knee bows. So what am I saying? Is that probably this January we need to all descend. We need to probably, I don't know. Or not really. Because it's not just about January or February or March or New Year. It's about times and seasons. Yeah. It's something that the Lord taught me is more like, it's not just, oh, it is January, it's a new year. It's about times and seasons. So this season of January might be the season of growing within, descending. And some people, this January might be their season of growing upward, ascending. And then if you are in the season of this January that God said this is a season of growing within, and you begin to see that there is nothing happening in the outside, there's no external evidence, and you begin to say, oh Lord, what's going on? This is my new year. Other people are making ascending and all of that, and I'm here rigmaroling. But you never knew that this is your season of deepening. You are bearing roots. You are bearing roots. You are bearing roots, and that determines your sustenance. That determines your sustenance. That determines your sustenance. That determines your sustenance. No man builds a house and just start building it up without laying a foundation. Even Christ himself, before he launched even the apostles, there was a time of that hidden state, if I should say that, because they were being taught and taught and taught. There was this period, like my friend was like, hitting it. I was like, man, God, what about me? It wasn't just about my friend. Yeah, what about me? She's just hitting it. Another thing that happened to me was like, yeah, I was having the remas and everything, but something was just nagging inside of me. And I kept like, I know that I was supposed to, quote unquote, ascend, go to the remas and all of that. But man, there was no depth. And God knew that if I go with that height without depth, I will be like an elephant grass that can easily be uprooted, because I am all sides and no depth. All height and no depth. So I have to go back. What some of us will call, many of us call the cave of Adullam, is me. I call cave of Adullam the point of you having an inward growth. You are descending. You are gathering a taproot. You are growing deep. You are rooting yourself. So the actual growth of a plant starts from within. It is not seen. It begins to taproot. It begins to seek, the nutrients, the allegiance, all of those things, connecting. I love what Jake Roberts calls it. He says confluence. Begin to seek roots. You spread your tentacles. You begin to draw the roots. Begin to draw the nutrients. Begin to all of these things, and you're becoming. You are becoming, bearing the roots. Seeing everything. And the funny thing that in your becoming, you appear to be in darkness. Because you're in your root phase, you're not seeing anything. It is not making sense. It appears the enemy is winning. It appears the effort you're making is not making any progress. Stay. Because you are becoming. You are becoming. I would love, people to. I've forgotten the title of this teaching from Sarah Jakes Roberts. Those periods you will not even understand yourself. You will not even understand what's going on, because you are going into another phase. You are morphing into someone else, because that seed is morphing into a tree, into a plant. So it first goes into the phase of trying to transform, morph. And those ones are done hidden when the roots are now solidified, and yes, you start seeing some growth. And the truth is that as the growth for an areca tree, as the growth is growing, as the growth is being seen evidentially, physically, is coming out, it continually goes into deeper roots. But there will always be a point whereby it is only the roots growing and nothing coming out. There's no shots, there's no shoot, or whatever it is called. So go back and ask God, in this season, in this phase, just take out January, New Year, whatever, just at this particular phase of my life. Where am I? What have you purposed for me? What kind of growth are you expecting from me? At times, some ministers will be like, they go on retreat. At times, retreat is you going to revelate your root and see where you need to spread your tentacles more, and where the part of your root has become diseased that needs to be treated. That is retreat as well. So Lord, am I in the phase to launch or to retreat or to reflect? What phase of growth am I in? So what phase of growth am I in? Is it the visible growth or the invisible growth? Am I having a root? Am I rooting in? Or am I called to manifest? So I really hope that these words reach out to someone and helps us to understand times and seasons and work in accordance to our own time and season, not someone else's time and someone else's season. It is going to save us from a whole lot of issues, a whole lot of avoidable mistakes. Till I come your way next time, it is me, the beloved. I am still God's beloved, and my stories are being shared from God's inspiration and experience. To have a lovely evening. A lovely day. Bye.